Hurricanes are definitely the kind of team that you want to jump on early because they are so very good at home. So I believe that the Rangers just got to keep doing what they're doing. What I enjoy about what I've seen is they literally do not have. They're not allowing the business of the playoffs to get to them. They're treating every game in the same fashion and form that they treat the regular season. And let's face it, they had a great regular season. But right now, Rangers are looking pretty good. Keeping it at MSG, I'm going to hit on my New York Knicks. After quite the grueling series win over the Philadelphia 76ers, the Knicks now will be facing the Indiana Pacers in what should be yet another classic. I don't know if everybody had the Pacers making it this far. I certainly did. I said earlier, going into the playoffs, that the Pacers were a very formidable team. Side note for this series, Obi Toppin gets to play his former team, and I do believe that he is going to be incredibly motivated after not having the best relationship with current head coach of the Knicks, Tom Thibodeau. Rick Carlisle, there's also another story here because of the fact that he was Dallas's coach that did not believe in Jalen Brunson. So there's a lot of storylines going into this. It goes without saying that if you revisit the 90s and early 2000s, these were teams that constantly played each other, constantly had many, many moments that started in 93 pretty much until 2000, just nonstop running into each other, teams led by Reggie Miller, as well as Patrick Ewing of my New York Knicks. It's incredible. After Jalen Brunson basically had two forgettable shooting nights in MSG to start that Philadelphia series, yeah, let's go Knicks. To start that Philadelphia series, he's elevated his game in such a way, particularly on the road. I think that Jalen Brunson is the heartbeat of this team, and guys are elevating their games. That Nova trio has been something special. OG Anunoby, a guy that the Knicks have an incredible record with ever since acquiring from the Toronto Raptors. He needs to once again be a focal point in this particular series. And I want to see somebody else step up on the offensive side. We know what we're getting on defense with Robinson, with Hartenstein. I'd love to see Hartenstein continue to elevate his game offensively. Maybe Deuce McBride might be the guy. But my prediction for the series is Knicks in 6. I think it might be something comparable to what we saw against Philly. I think the difference here is the Knicks hold serve at home. I would not be the least bit surprised if Indy does the same. Game 5 might be crucial. I think the Knicks win it out in Indy in Game 6. It's not going to be an easy series by any stretch of the imagination. I was pulling for the local team here, the Orlando Magic, to beat the Cleveland Cavaliers. Unfortunately, that did not happen. As that series goes, I don't think there's going to be much resistance from the Cavaliers. I would not rule out a sweep, but I got Boston in 5. Boston Celtics are the best team in the East, and it's going to be very hard to beat them. But if anybody could do it, it is my New York Knicks. Got to hone in on Indy, though. Cannot look ahead. Los Angeles Lakers were eliminated by the Denver Nuggets, and although the Nuggets did dispose of them in 5 games, I felt that there were certain moments where the Nuggets looked vulnerable. Minnesota really shocked them in a Game 1 victory. And I'm going to just go on record and say this. While I still pick the Denver Nuggets to come out of the Western Conference and to go to the NBA Finals, my ultimate opinion with regard to this matter is I believe the winner of this series, whoever it may be, will ultimately become the NBA champions. That's how highly I think of these two teams right here. Not the Oklahoma City Thunder. As they go, I got the Dallas Mavericks pulling the upset there. And I got to shout out my man Derek Munson one more time. I told him, just watch and wait with my Western Conference predictions of round 1. They all came to fruition. They all came true. The Los Angeles Lakers lost almost their. Yeah, you know what it is. LeBron's going to be looking to get some big names in Los Angeles. Goes without saying. That's nothing new. Darvin Ham, good coach. But this is the era of the player having the last say. And LeBron James has definitely been an integral part of introducing that to the NBA, in addition to some good things and some bad things. You know, some people will credit him for being the engineer of the super team. I don't think he's worthy of all that credit. And I will admit that Anthony Edwards hit one thing on the head. No athlete is quite as hated as LeBron James, whether it's fair or not. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's a little too much. But as these Nuggets go, I do believe that the Timberwolves pose the biggest threat. OKC versus Dallas, that 1-2 punch of Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic, I think, is just going to be a little too much for the top-seeded OKC Thunder. I think they have a lot to be proud of. But right now, the way that duo is handling their biz, I really like Dallas to go to the conference finals. I did predict in the NHL my Stanley Cup finals to be the New York Rangers and the Dallas Stars. Everybody's talking about New York Boston in the conference finals. That would be amazing. And you talk about storylines. If the New York Knicks and the Dallas Mavericks cross paths, given that the Dallas Mavericks gave up on Jalen Brunson. And because my co-host on the other end for the ice hockey is a Stars fan. So that too would be pretty fun. I got to hit on this, man. Netflix special is a hit. Tom Brady Roast brings out the best in a sports-driven panel. Some of the humor was a little cringeworthy in the sense that, you know, they were popping shots at the late Aaron Hernandez. In comedy, it's everything goes. Pushing the envelope on certain things, for sure, when going in on Tom Brady, from accusing him of being homosexual to a few other things. Clearly, Tom Brady's not a homosexual man. At least I don't think so. You know, he's had a few wives, definitely makes some pretty looking kids, but the humor was there. But what I enjoyed most about this was a love that these guys showed for each other despite going below the belt. I think in comedy, you always have to remember this is entertainment. But there is also a great deal of respect that goes into this as well, because when you're going in on someone and roasting them on that level, in order for them to be the good sport and be there, it means that they have a pretty high opinion of you. But seeing Bill Belichick getting into a completely different mode that I think most of us as football fans don't see him on, because he usually got his arms folded, he's got the cut off sleeves, just looks like he's always pissed off. Very, very funny. It was cool seeing Robert Kraft. I'm not a Patriot fan, but it was cool seeing the camaraderie of a lot of older guys that did a lot of great things together, ranging from Drew Bledsoe, Randy Moss, Willie McGinnis, even Danny Amendola was there. You know, just an excellent, excellent show. You had your stand-in comedians in addition to Brady's teammates, as well as some of Brady's rivals. You know, seeing Peyton Manning come in towards the end was really funny. I think Kevin Hart was the perfect guy for this role. Now, I don't think Kevin Hart's more funny than, say, a Chris Rock or a Dave Chappelle. But for this particular show, I think Kevin Hart was the perfect guy to lead the way. Shouts out to Tom Brady for just being an excellent sport. I don't want to talk about too many one-liners because for those of you who haven't seen it yet, I do not want to spoil anything. But I'm putting my stamp on it, guys. If you haven't, please make it a point to check out this show. This show was pretty friggin' awesome. Really was. What else? I do want to talk about the Yankees bouncing back. My New York Yankees bounced back in a big way after losing 3 or 4 to the Baltimore Orioles. The Detroit Tigers are a young and upcoming team. As much as I can't stand A.J. Hinch because of his Astro affiliations from the past, he is a damn good manager. Yesterday was rain shortened for the sweep. 8th inning, Yankees were in very much control of the game. But what I saw during the course of this series that is making me feel gradually a little better is that Aaron Judge is starting to hit. It was a weird series. He got his first ejection middle of the series, arguing balls and strikes. Yesterday, he went for an oppo shot over the short porch at Yankee Stadium. Juan Soto still swinging the bat very well. I talked to a friend of the show, Chris Dixon, who is a diehard Baltimore Oriole fan. And I told him in a very humble way, I said, it's not about the regular season for me. I want to see what the New York Yankees could do if they stay healthy approaching the playoffs. A division title will be a bonus, but not something that I'm expecting or craving. It's about the postseason. When you look at recent history, and even as recent as last year, how the National League and American League representatives were both wild card teams, I think that's really what's most important. The Orioles are younger. I expect the Orioles to win this division. I'd want a healthy Garrett Cole. I look forward to the Martian, Jason Dominguez, rejoining the team midway through the season. And it's all about having some of those role players that step up in a big way. Alex Verdugo has been a pleasant addition to this New York Yankees squad. I must admit, the former Red Sox, I was kind of critical of that move. I think he's fitting in rather nicely. The ascension of Oswaldo Cabrera has been awesome. This is a guy that could play anywhere in the infield, probably outside of short, at an effective level. DJ LeMahieu hasn't played this year yet. I don't know where he fits into this immediate plan. Anthony Rizzo, after looking terrible over the course of the last 7 to 8 ball games, has been hitting for power. But I truly am looking forward to Dominguez. I'm not overly worried about Judge. He's starting to come out of his season-long slump. But, Rodon has been good enough. Nestor Cortez, after a couple of rough outings, is starting to get his act together. Clark Schmidt's looking good. Still, the jury's out on Marcus Stroman. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that he's my favorite, but he is a Yankee, so I support him. The bullpen has been really good. That's another loss we had. Jonathan Loaiziga. They are still taking care of business in that bullpen. As far as I'm concerned right now, the New York Yankees are right where they should be. They're actually better than they should be if you really consider the injuries and what they had going in. I'm proud of what I've seen thus far from the Yankees, and I think they're going to be just fine. On the hardwood, I've got the Knicks winning tonight. I think the New York Knicks get the W. I think the Denver Nuggets will be squaring up their series against the Minnesota Timberwolves. And just really excited about tonight's Knicks game. It's been a long time since I can honestly say that going into a series this late in the year where I actually expect my team to win, it's a phenomenal, phenomenal feeling and just a really cool excitement. I'm very superstitious. I've had my Patrick Ewing jersey in the same place. And I also got my Mark Messier alongside it, just keeping alive those 1994 New York vibes. I'm not delusional. I know how good the Boston Celtics are, but I do think the Knicks have a puncher's chance. Got to take care of business starting tonight against the Indiana Pacers. If you haven't already, please make it a point, like and subscribe to our channel, the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast. And before we get out of here, guys, what are your thoughts on the NFL schedule release? I, for one, am really looking forward to Thursday. We're going to probably get some leaks, I would think, in the next few hours. But this is where you can start really thinking about how things are going to pan out, what things are going to look like once the schedule drops. Because you know who you're playing, but when you're playing them and what week, and when you have like those cross-country trips, they're going to be able to tell quite a bit of a story about what kind of season you are going to have. And I must admit, I'm excited about Malik Neighbors. I'm excited to see what the Giants can potentially do in a post-Saquon Barkley era. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of storylines, a lot of teams that have some statements to make. And we're going to be going live, announcements to come, divulging, discussing, analyzing the schedule release. And we're going to talk to you guys and girls about where we think our teams are going to end up. Very much looking forward to that. Until next time, I am your host, Richie, and I appreciate you guys hanging with me for a bit today. Solo mission today, only so much I could say by myself. I do my best when I'm by myself. I hope I was able to keep you guys engaged. We will be back. Announcements to come soon. Have a great day, everyone. Great rest of your day. Mondays are always a little tough. Ran a lot of errands, did things I had to do. Now I'm looking to take that patented day nap and get ready for my New York Knicks tonight. Also going to keep an eye on Monday Night Raw. That was a good pay-per-view. Recently in France, excellent pay-per-view. The crowd energy was awesome. When you get that international crowd at wrestling events, it is a different thing. Shout out to Paul Triple H Levesque. Ever since taking over and with The Rock being on the TKO board, the product has been so much better. I'm going to elaborate more on wrestling on a future show. I might have a guest or two as well. Until next time, I am Richie. Have a great day, everybody.